Here are 35 new tips to give you an edge in Season 3 of the finals. The new dual katanas can not only deflect incoming shots from most weapons, but if you're looking at an enemy as you are deflecting, that damage will be returned to the sender. If you aim at their head, it will even crit and count as a headshot. Also, keep in mind that the katanas won't deflect incoming shots at all unless you're facing towards the enemy that is shooting you. There are near unlimited uses for Heavy's new specialization, the Winch claw. The claw deals 15 damage on hit, meaning that you can pull in an enemy like a light, immediately pull up your RPG, and then shoot them for an instant kill. There's literally nothing they can do. Another underrated use is, of course, standing near a ledge of death, maybe even in front of a map jump pad landing spot, and then grabbing an enemy mid-air as they come in. They will lose all of their momentum mid-air and just fall to their death. Since the thermal bore emits some type of fire upon activating, it will actually work as a fire source, and if you shoot it inside of a gas cloud, that will evaporate the entire gas. The Winch claw can not only grab objects such as barrels or even the cash box, but you can also pull the cash out itself towards you, combine it with a jump pad right next to the cash out to take the whole thing with you. Another great tip that will give you an edge in Season 3 of the finals and any upcoming seasons is, of course, making sure you've hit the subscribe button and even the notification button on the channel to stay in the know. Be careful with the water on Kyoto. If you step in the puddles, you will be slowed down and turn into an easy target, so try to use the bridges, zip lines, your own abilities, or just walk around, whichever works. Another interesting use for the Winch is that you can grab your teammate's statues, so if your light died way too deep where they shouldn't have been, now you can simply get them back with a quick winch. Remember that the winch has a range of 18 meters, so if you aren't sure if your target is close enough, just ping them beforehand and make sure that ping is within the appropriate range. If you're like me and played a lot of Hanzo and Overwatch back in the day, there's not really a way to cancel drawing your bow once you have started. If you do want to cancel it, you have to either let loose of the arrow or quick melee. Another fun use of the Winch claw is placing both of your explosive mines on the floor and then pulling your enemies straight on top of them to get an instant kill on both mediums and lights. Add in an RPG to kill enemy heavies and potentially yourself as well, but hey, at least it will look really cool, right? The thermal board doesn't seem to have any type of fall off over range. Just aim right at whatever target that you may have and let it slowly fly towards its destination. You will notice that there have been some changes to movement this patch, most notably sliding into a jump pad will no longer add additional forward momentum. You can now start a slide after rubbing your defibrillators together, which stops you from being stuck in one place, which is very welcome. Obviously, you can't sprint after holding down your defibs, but being able to slide gives you a lot more movement options in the middle of the heated fight. The new glitch traps will passively shut down any enemies within an area from using any of their abilities. Keep in mind that as with any placeable items, they can be put against any surface, and as long as they have a direct line of sight to the enemy will be glitched. With that in mind, try placing them in angles that can still reach the enemies while not being the first place they look. Place it on a wall the same direction that the enemy is coming from. They're rarely going to turn around and look straight at the glitch trap. You can also place the glitch trap right above the entrance of whatever room you're holding for the best results. Another way to make sure that the enemy will have a harder time seeing your glitch trap is making sure that you have a black spray or whatever color matches with your glitch trap skin equipped. Once you place your trap, you spray over it to conceal it. On the flip side, if you're on the receiving end of the glitch trap, it will always show an electric beam between you and the trap, which will make it easier to find where it is and destroy it. As of this patch, enemies detected by a motion sensor will now get a beam between themselves and the sensor that is detecting them, which makes it easy for them to find it and destroy it. If you get scanned by one, make sure to look out for that beam. If you pull an object in with the Winch claw, keep in mind that unless you hold your pickup key, it won't actually make you grab onto that item. Once you finish the animation, it will instead just fall to the floor. The LH1 deals 52 damage per shot instead of the previous 49. This small change changes the amount of shots needed to kill by 1 per class. This, combined with the change in its visual recoil this season, is enough to make it a very worthwhile pickup. Even though the spear officially is the only weapon which will deal damage to enemies in the area surrounding the heavy, as of the end of Season 2, all types of melee, including melee weapons and quick melee, now have something called multi-hits. This means that as long as you are in the part of your melee animation where you would deal damage, you will deal damage to any enemy in front of you, no matter whether you already have dealt damage to one or not. This is mostly to help with cleaving several enemies that are clumped up in one position, but it can also be abused. If several enemies are within range, but spread out far from each other, just start your melee attack, and the second it connects with the first enemy, flick your aim towards the second one. If you're fast enough, you can hit both the same attack. If an enemy goes for a steal on a cash out and you aren't able to yoink them or fight them for whatever reason, another option is just grabbing the cashout and yoinking it. Depending on your angle and the enemy's position, it can end up pulling it far enough to cancel their steal. If you grab an enemy with the winch claw and pull them through a jump pad, they will actually keep their momentum but take the jump pad instead. You can use this to yeet enemies out of the way and even off of the map. As of Season 3, light now starts regenerating their health after 7 seconds, compared to heavy, which takes 10 seconds, and medium, which takes 9. As a light, this means that if you trade significant damage with an enemy of a different build, you will have a 3-second or 2-second window to push them before they start regenerating themselves. If you're playing medium or heavy against a light, expect that aggression and prepare for it. Believe it or not, the winch also lets you grab enemies through shields, both the mesh shield and the bubble and even the riot shield. So think of those big shields more of like suggestions rather than impenetrable defense, and have fun. The arrow tip on your bow will sparkle and play this sound whenever it is fully charged. Listen for the sound as you're practicing the timing, as this will help you hit the maximum damage possible in the shortest period of time. The thermal bore actually ignites and deals damage to any enemies that happen to be on the other side of the drill. So if an enemy is stuck hiding behind a wall, using the thermal bore will not only destroy their cover, but if they don't move, kill them at the same time. The winch claw will tell you if your claw attempt has failed. If you miss your claw, or if your enemy was out of range, or if your claw gets interrupted by something like a stun gun, it will briefly turn red. Keep an eye out for this so you know when it has failed. Believe it or not, the winch claw can not only pick up enemies, props, and objects, but it can also pick up debris like pieces of walls and floors as well. In some cases, the claw can also attach to loose buildings, which can help you pulling them in your direction. Though keep in mind, if the buildings are too heavy, which most of them are, then it won't really go anywhere. I'm not saying this because I want to support Embark, to obviously do, but as with every season, some of the best value that you can get is buying the battle pass, because you not only get cool skins while doing so, but if you complete the entire battle pass, if I remember correctly, you actually get 1,550 multi-bucks, meaning that you get your initial investment back, plus plenty more additional multi-bucks as well. Building off of that, I know it costs 10 bucks this season, but as for the Season 3 starter pack, it gives you these limited edition skins that only will be available for the duration of Season 3, in addition to giving you your money's worth back in multi-bucks, which you then can use to buy a battle pass or whatever. Like I said, it's free multi-bucks and it supports the game. Why wouldn't you want to do it? And while we're on the subject of free multi-bucks, you should definitely make sure that you play enough World Tour and win enough rounds to rank yourself up to Gold 1. It takes nothing but getting round wins, which means that as long as you spend enough time in the World Tour, you are practically guaranteed to hit the max rank. What's great about this is that if you are bronze, you'll actually get 50 multi-bucks. If you're silver, you get 100. If you're gold, you get 150. And if you're gold 1, you get 250. You will get your reward once a season, so might as well do it. The winch claw has a cooldown of 7 seconds when you pull in objects, or if you miss with it, and a 14-second cooldown if you pull in an enemy player. And also, I noticed a lot of mentions of the winch claw in this video, but that's because there are so many really cool uses for it. As for countering the winch claw, glitching heavy won't stop a claw in use, but it will obviously stop them from being able to start a winch in the first place. You can, however, cancel an enemy heavy's ongoing winch claw mid-animation by hitting them with the stun gun. If you are fast enough, you can also place a barricade or goo in front of you once the winch claw comes in. If you're fast enough, the cover will tank the claw instead, or at the very least, it will get in the way and stop you from being pulled into the heavy. If you know that the enemy is using a winch claw, being inside of a window or behind enough cover might be enough to block your way from being pulled into the enemy heavy as well. But you know, most of the time, if that claw hits, you're gonna be dead, so just be careful. And those were 35 tips for Season 3 of the finals. I wish you a good luck out there. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.